Have an avoidant partner who is engaging in their avoidant tendencies, their patterns. They're pushing you away, they're shutting down on you, and you want to know how to call them out. So when an avoidant is pulling away, they're shutting down on you. They're not really engaging in healthy communication, and that bothers you. You wanna call them out on it, kind of, right? Um, first, the first thing I want you to be aware of is when an avoidant pulls away or somebody pulls away. Um, it may if you have an anxious attachment style, it may trigger some of your anxious tendencies, and you want to be very aware of that. Okay, because it can trigger the say the fawn response, and this is where you kind of over start when the avoidant pulls away. You start over explaining and overcompensating and over complimenting and holding on tighter to them and seeking immediate resolution. You're in this fawn response, right? Um, you want to be careful with that. So I want you to first be aware of that. When an avoidant pulls away, it can trigger some of your anxious tendencies. Be aware of that so that when you have awareness, you can be more careful not to fall into those anxious tendencies. Okay, so if an avoidant is engaging in avoidant behavior patterns, then excuse me, how do you call them out on that? The answer is it's a simple answer. Here's my simple answer on how to call out an avoidant. Do it softly. Okay, do it softly. Do it gently, so it can sound like, "Hey, I noticed there's been some distance between us lately. Is everything cool?" Or, "Hey, I noticed you've been kind of quiet lately. Is everything cool?" Now, I like that word "cool." Okay, I like to use that word a lot. It's such a light word. It's so low pressure. Cool. Is everything cool? I hope everything is cool. So that's one soft way to do it, to check in with your avoidant partner. "Hey, I haven't heard much from you lately. Is everything cool? Hope everything is cool." And it can be as simple as that, and kind of see how they respond. See how they respond to that. It's going to be different for every relationship, but yeah, kind of that's one way to kind of call them out. It's very low pressure. It's very light. It shows empathy. It shows care. It shows concern without being overbearing, without pushing them. Um, so be aware of your anxious tendencies, because if you fall into your anxious tendencies, that can pressure them. When you start bombarding them with questions and accusations, that can feel very pressuring. So the key here in calling out an avoidant is to keep it light, keep it soft. Okay, know your boundaries, know your limits, but yeah, keep it soft, keep it real light, and go from there. If they continue to pull away, after you've checked in on them lightly, if check in with them, give them some space. If they continue to pull away, if they continue with their avoidant behavior patterns, then this is the part where you need to know your own personal limits. You need to know your boundaries. I wouldn't necessarily rush in to say, "Hey, we need to talk. We need to talk about this right now." That can be very demanding and pressuring. But you can, let them know what your limits are. Let them know what your boundaries are. That it can sound something like, "I know you need space, and space is good for our relationship. I also need, you know, I need some communication here. Like, I need to know that things are cool. If you could help me out with that, we could compromise. We could have a very healthy relationship." Something like that. Okay, it's a way to state your boundaries, state what your needs are without being pressuring and demanding. And again, it's going to be different for everybody. It's going to be different for every relationship. But keep it light, keep it soft, keep it cool, right? Give them space. And then softly state your needs, state what your boundaries are. Acknowledge their need for space, acknowledge their need for independence. Because, quite frankly, both partners in a relationship need some space, need independence, right? So acknowledge their need for space and independence, and even acknowledge that you need space and independence as well. And then state your need for for some healthy connection, for some sense of healthy communication. So in summary, how to call out an avoidant: keep it light, keep it soft, keep it cool. Know what your limits are, know what your boundaries are, and state those limits. State your boundaries, make them known. Acknowledge their need for space and make your boundaries and your needs known. Again, softly and gently, keep it cool. And don't fall into your anxious tendencies. Be aware. And that's why I make videos like this, to raise awareness, because it's very easy when you don't have awareness to fall into those anxious tendencies, and then you come off as very demanding and pressuring, and you don't want to do that. So once you have awareness, you work on yourself, then you can really keep things cool, keep things light, okay, in calling out an avoidant. So that's the key. Keep it cool, keep it light, know your boundaries. I hope this video was helpful. What are your thoughts? What's your experience been like? Have you ever, been in a situation where you had to call out an avoidant for their avoidant behaviors? What were your limits? How did it turn out? Please share your stories in the comments. You take care, and I'll see you in the next video.